Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. Happy Thursday. Been to an out today. What the hell's going on? Back to normal next week, thank God. Anyway, if you're new man, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a bloody good subscribe. Thank you very much. It's Hammer's Headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. Lunchtime today, I did a bit about a data deep dive, a statistical analysis of West Ham, really, of our Premier League season so far in terms of players, how many minutes they've played, are we running our players into the ground, looking at that compared to other Premier League sides as well. So go and check that out. Bit of a statistical analysis, if you're into that thing. But anyone who is a regular on the West Ham Network knows we do the Rusty Rumour Rating, the original Rumour Rating, where we do a whistle-stop tour of all the latest transfer rumours. And that's what we're doing for Hammer's Headlines today. We're mixing up a little bit. Slightly longer video for that exact reason. So we've got quite a few to get through, my friends. So let's start. Let's get cracking. Gromit. I don't know where it's coming. Let's start with this gentleman. As we all know, I'm sure you're all aware who this gentleman is. Pause, wait for someone to listen to it and know who we're talking about. It is Genoa star Albert Gudmundsson, who we are heavily linked with in Serie A. It's quite interesting because a couple of months ago, it was widely reported that we were looking at him, particularly Calcio Mercato, my favourite Italian news outlet, had reported we were keen on signing him. And the Genoa side apparently had a £20 million sort of request on his head. But fast forward to January, Gianluca Di Marzio provides the latest on our efforts to try and sign a 26-year-old. He is a winger by trade, which is nice to hear because we sort of need them, kind of, really, to be honest, at the moment, it seems. Although maybe not compared to, obviously, the medical professional Lucas Paqueta, who clearly knows how he's going to recover from his injury, more so than doctors potentially. But he can play as a striker as well. He's been used as a striker in Genoa this season in that position as well. So, he's got that sort of adaptability, which is good. He's got 10 goals and 3 assists in 19 games. So 13 goal involvements in 19 games for Genoa. And obviously his impressive run has caught the eye of many a Premier League side, including West Ham. The report claims that we have made a move apparently to secure his services. It doesn't provide any clarity in terms of what the offer is for the Icelandic international. However, the report by Di Marzio does say that they've rejected every attempt so far by West Ham to sign him. That's not saying he doesn't, he might not go, but he's their side's top goal scorer. And he's, among the best in his position in the Serie A. So they don't want him to go. So they're not willing to part with him. And they've blocked our attempts to sign him. And we'll have to try harder. Have to offer more money. Everyone has a price, as we know. And so we'll keep an eye on that one. He's one of several, obviously, wingers we've been linked to. We spoke about Savio yesterday from he's on loan at Girona. So, he's another one. The Rusty Rumour Rating, the original Rumour Rating, gives him 6 out of 10. He does fit a bit of profile in terms of Tim Stein. The only thing he's probably slightly old. He's like 26, which is ridiculous. But, for maybe 20 million quid, 20 million euros, you think he may be someone slightly younger in terms of getting value on that? I don't know. Just me gassing. Let's talk about Marcus Edwards, another winger we've been linked with from Sporting Lisbon. According to The Guardian, he's emerged as a potential target for us. Obviously, we've changed our transfer plan somewhat, it seems, with obviously the injuries to the likes of Bowen, to Paqueta, to Antonio, and Kudus obviously being at the AFCONs. And it seems that Edwards is one of the side's multiple targets. It's understood that we are heavily linked with him. He's someone we've looked at before. He could solve a lot of our attacking options because he's very similar to Bowen, in terms of quick. He's skillful. He's got a goal threat. He used to be at Spurs, and he left Spurs in 2019 and graduated and from that academy went to Portugal and started plying his trade there. Originally with Victoria de Guilhermes, and then he scored 20 goals in 95 appearances for them before Sporting picked him up, and he's registered 21 and goals and 22 assists in 91 appearances, so 43 goal involvements in 91 appearances. Plenty of experience, Champions League, Europa League, and has scored against the likes of, or provided goal contributions against the likes of Juventus, Spurs, Arsenal, and Atalanta in recent seasons. Whether he wants to come back to London is another question, but apparently we are linked with him, and so therefore we are reporting it. The Russian Rumour rating, the original Rumour rating, gives him 5 out of 10. Gives him 5 out of 10. Anything can happen with him, to be honest. Right, let's move on like Donkey Kong and talk about Hugo Ekitike. According to XWHU employee, he is one of our key targets this summer. The 21-year-old. He's tried to break into the first team at PSG, but it's sort of hasn't really worked at all. And so, it's caused the club and also the player to maybe suggest looking elsewhere for him to keep his football career going. Interesting enough, PSG also been linked with a move for Nafi Ged last night. So anything's possible, maybe a swap deal potentially, but I think more likely to be, if we're going to get Hugo, would be a loan deal. I don't think we're going to spend any money really on the attacking options unless it's very cheap, to be fair, because come the end of, say, the AFCONs, everyone's back, and then it's good then because obviously everyone will have competition for places. But I just think someone like Hugo offers something quite unique. He can play as a striker, but also can play out left as well. And, he's got a bit of young Thierry Henry about him, if that makes sense. He's 21 as well, so he fits the profile of a Tim Steidten signing. Russ's Rumour rating gives it 6 out of 10. Similarly, also mentioned we've been linked with this man, another French based striker. This one is Acor Adams from Montpellier, who scored 7 goals already for this for Ligue 1 this season. Very impressive considering it's basically his first season in France. He's adapted to the French football very, very well. Unlike he is a Nigerian based player. However, he was snubbed for a place in the Nigerian squad for the AFCON, so he's readily available. You'd have to wait until Nigeria get knocked out. Again, Montpellier, they're having an okay season, and he's one of their star strikers. So would they want to part with him quite, midway through a season? Because they've only just signed him, really. I can't see this one happening unless we pay a lot of money. And again, I don't think we're going to be spending a lot of money. So, for me, the Russian Rumour rating, I've given him 6 out of 10 because, we are linked, and definitely League R is an area which we are sort of looking at in terms of our recruitment. Let's talk about Jack Clark, shall we? Someone we've spoken about quite a bit, likened to Jack Grealish. And apparently he is being discussed at board level at West Ham. It's reported that David Sullivan and co are examining the best way to bring the 23-year-old to the London Stadium in the January transfer window. According to Sky Sports reporter Keith Downey, he's named the price that West Ham will need to sign the new Grealish from Sunderland, £20 million apparently. In terms of what Downey said, he says West Ham interested in winger Sunderland winner Jack Clark. According to my colleague Darmesh, I'd expect Sunderland to hold on to their prize asset this winter, unless there is a received offer that they can't refuse of at least £20 million for the 23-year-old former Tottenham, former Leeds player. I mean, he's bagged 12 goals, 2 assists in the Championship so far this season. He's their top goal scorer in terms of Sunderland. Again, young, homegrown as well, which again helps the quota we're looking at. I think, he's got a lot about in terms of us plucking someone like Jared Bowen. I think we paid, is it like 17 to 20 minutes, something like for Jared Bowen a few years ago. So it represents quite good value for money, I think, in all honesty. But whether we will pay the money is another thing. The Russian rating, 50-50. This one's the Lamar, for anyone who remembers Lamar, the singer. What about now? I'm 50-50. Anyway, let's talk about another striker. It's all about strikers at the moment, it seems. Let's talk about the AZ Alkmaar striker, Vanigles Pavilidis. According to a couple of news reports, we are interested and want to sign him in the January transfer window. He is the current top goal scorer in the Eredivisie with 18 goals in 16 games. And apparently he's been scouted by the Hammers as well as Crystal Palace and Fulham. I mean, we've sent scouts to watch the talented centre forward in action. He has already been interviewed saying he is looking to maybe make the next step up and move away from the Eredivisie to see how far he can make it. Obviously, we do have quite a good hit record with signings from the Eredivisie in the terms of, Edson Alvarez, Mohamed Kudus, and that they've both hit the ground running, really. So it's no surprise to see us trying to go back to the well in terms of the Eredivisie to find more solutions to our current problems. As I said, he is currently the best goal scorer in the division. We've also been linked with the likes of Santiago Guimarães from Feyenoord. And obviously, we've mentioned about Steven Bergwijn again before. So, I mean, Pavilidis is an out-and-out striker. And we just haven't had the best hit rate with strikers under the way that David Moyes plays. And so, I'm thinking, yeah, he's a great striker. He's got a really good goal record, but is he going to fit what we need him for? Our most successful strikers in recent years have all been converted wingers under David Moyes. Arnautovic, Antonio, Bowen. And so, the likes of Skamaka, Haller, these guys were, top strikers, and they've proven to continue to be top strikers, but they just don't work in the West Ham system. Danny Ings, another one. Before he was banging them in for fun. As soon as he came to West Ham, he's toothless. He'll probably go to Crystal Palace or Southampton or Burnley or whatever and score a hat load for them as well because he works in that particular system. So I don't know about Pavilidis, in all honesty. I mean, I've given him a 5 out of 10 because are we going to risk trying to buy another striker? And it failed. Personally, I'd prefer to buy a left winger and keep what we've got, knowing full well that Antonio is, okay will be okay in the next few weeks and will be back for the run-in, so to speak. So, I don't know. Let's talk about defenders. Let's talk about Trevor Chalobah. According to TalkSport, we want to sign him. Simple. They said yesterday that the news outlet, the 24-year-old, has been told he's free to leave Stamford Bridge after not making a single appearance this season under Mauricio Pochettino. Apparently, Bayern Munich as well, obviously managed by former Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel, are also said to be interested in him. But the Hammers could look to keep him in London if Agard leaves amid interest from Saudi Arabia, PSG, people like that. He's only 20. He's only 24. He seems like he's been around forever. So he fits the age profile for West Ham. He also fits the Premier, for sort of the Tim Steiner type side of the signings. He also fits the David Moyes side of the signings in terms of being Premier League ready. He's played lots of Premier League games. Played a lot under Frank Lampard when he had to play the youth because obviously with the restrictions on transfers, and he was in or thereabouts all the time with Thomas Tuchel, and obviously Poch don't fancy him at the moment. I mean, if the plan is for someone like Mavropanos to eventually take over first choice on the right-hand side for Zuma, for example, which I think he would do, would Chalobah replace an Agard, maybe? I definitely think there'll be, whether it's Chalobah or even Max Kilman. I think Max Kilman's probably more suited potentially because it's, but I don't know. But it means obviously getting rid of Agard, which I don't know whether the club will do. Russie B, the original Rumour rating, has given this only a 4. Only a 4. I think, to be honest, he's more likely to go to Bayern Munich, in all honesty. There because of it's Bayern Munich rather than West Ham, and obviously he knows the coach already in terms of Tuchel. Let's talk about the silly ones. Let's get a few silly ones. Jordan Henderson. Apparently, West Ham are one of several Premier League clubs that have been made aware of the chance to sign him this summer, according to Graham Bailey. He said last weekend they attempted to. His intermediaries attempted to offer the England international Premier League sides. As we know, he's unhappy in the Saudi Pro League. They're not pleased with him by saying he's unhappy, although they would accept a suitable offer, which is tipped most likely to be a loan to buy deal based on a triggering certain number of criteria. I mean, this one isn't going to happen. I mean, the 33-year-old is trying to engineer a move out, whether it is there or he's also been offered to Juventus, Bayern Munich, Leverkusen. This one's not going to happen, but it's been reported. So for me, 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. Let's get another silly one out of the way. Let's get Jesse Lingard out of the way as well. Obviously, it wouldn't be a transfer window without Jesse Lingard being linked to a West Ham move. And West Ham have ruled out an SOS call to Jesse Lingard as the club focuses on the January transfer targets, such as Jack Clark and people like that. Obviously, he has been pictured. He's been pictured and videoed on Pablo Fornals's Instagram, training with Pablo in Dubai. All right for some, it's fucking freezing here, but as long as you two are right out there, it's all good. I mean, it's never going to happen, but it wouldn't go a transfer window without him being mentioned. Yeah, that's what it is. It's just a mention. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 on the Rusty River rating. So in terms of the current list, this is where we're up to at the moment on the 11th of January. 39 players we've been linked with so far, and we're only 11 days in. So, I think the summer transfer window we were linked to something like 160, which was a record for the West Ham network in terms of players we've been linked with. However, I reckon we're going to get at least 60, 70 at least. It just shows you the ridiculousness of the January transfer window. And to be honest, there's a lot of parallels, I think, to the summer transfer window in that we were not scrabbling around, but there was a long period of quietness coming out of the club in terms of signings, in terms of people being linked with, in terms of, everything was just links and everything was leaked and things like that. So it was interesting, and then we went boom, bosh, Kudus, Alvarez, Mavropanos, JWP, and went, oh, that's had quite a good transfer window. I've got a feeling we'll have a similar thing here. That I'm not for 1 minute, 1 iota, assuming that the board are there sort of, or Tim Steiner's they're kicking back, feet on the desk, twiggling his thumbs, maybe playing with a fidget toy, and just waiting out till the end of January. Not at all. They're working, very hard to try and bring some stuff in. We also know Nobes is working very hard trying to sign up a number of the academy players to long-term deals like Patrick Kelly and Marshall, and obviously there's negotiations with Obama as well. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes which we don't know about, and we will only really find out, when the club comes out or when news comes out that we are nowhere close to any signings. Why would we say we are close to signings by the ITK link and sort of show our hand? So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Anyway, that's it, my friends. Thank you very, very much for your time. Don't forget, check out news@mamabrand.com for the latest news, latest ITK information, and obviously take everything with a pinch of salt. Until next time, take care. Stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Keep the faith, my friends, and come on, you bloody, bloody Irons. Irons!